beyond the fear of what others will think is liberation. It's the freedom we all seek. And we are not completely free as long as we stay small, wasting energy seeking external validation. So when we own our stories in a world full of people who wear masks, you know what happens? We stand out. We connect deeper. And life gets so much bigger and more beautiful. Welcome to The Rise Show, a podcast for highly driven and spiritual women with big ideas, dreams, and visions. Audacious women just like you, who are committed to their evolution and obsessed about all things personal growth, spirituality, manifestation, and feminine embodiment. I'm your host, Nathalie Banaszak, feminine success and branding coach, and I'm here to support you on your journey and path of expansion. I know you're ready for so much more. Permission granted to go for greatness, your wildest desires, and the most radiant and full expression of the brand called you. Are you ready? Let's begin. Hey, I'm recording this very first episode of The Rise Show as a celebration of being back in Bali for a couple of months. For those of you who do not yet know me, I've been living in Bali for many years and recently moved back to Sweden, making Europe my base again. Travel is a huge part of my life and business, so you'll get parts of that here on the podcast, as travel is such a fantastic way to grow and expand our minds and widen our world. So I've been spending the last few weeks traveling and flew in here straight from vibrant Kuala Lumpur. And I want to start by sharing this as an example of how we have the opportunity to use the power of our personal brands to make beautiful connections and build beautiful relationships, no matter where we are or where we go in the world. And by that, I mean widening our network globally. If we desire to truly connect more genuinely with new people, no matter where we go, as who we genuinely are, then we become magnets from a place of being. And in the age of social media, there are no limits on how we can do life and business. You can apply this philosophy and hashtag be your brand to your everyday life. You get to travel to new places and take incredible adventures every day. P.S. You do not have to travel around the globe. You can adopt a traveler/tourist mindset at home in your home city. So be curious and train your mind to seek wonder and opportunity everywhere. My point is, when you are enjoying yourself, doing your thing, being you, and seek to live and lead life in a way that delights you, you naturally rise your vibration. And when you are in a high vibrational state, you become magnetic, meaning your brand becomes magnetic. This is the feminine way to magnetize bigger and better results. Anyhow, before I get carried away, let's dive right into the topic of today, which is building the brand called you. Leverage and own your uniqueness. So I want to start with you, and I have two questions for you to reflect on. And if this would have been a live session or a lecture, I would have made your answers part of this episode, as it's always super interesting to learn from each other's perceptions. So, first question, what does personal branding mean to you? Second, do you see yourself as a brand? Now, if not, you should. And before we wrap up today's episode, you will. So from my experience, most people don't think of themselves or understand the mighty power of their personal brand and the unique essence of who they are, who you are. Too often, we tend to think of big established company brands when this question comes, like, well, Mercedes, Chanel, or industry giants like Oprah Winfrey. True, but you are one too. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a stay-at-home mom, an employee, and so on. Authentic personal branding is an incredible leadership style, if you allow it to be. And it starts with one core leadership trait that many leaders frankly do not have. So to summarize, it's all about empowerment and radical self-awareness, starting with 1, knowing from the inside out who you truly are. 2, knowing what you stand for and what you represent. 3, knowing who you are here to serve and your why. Welcome to embodied leadership. Here's a definition of personal branding straight from Google. Personal branding is the intentional process of shaping and managing how others perceive you, particularly in the professional context. It involves showcasing your unique skills, values, and personally to create a lasting impression and establish yourself as a leader or expert in your field. Essentially, it's about crafting your public image to stand out and build trust with your audience. So what I do in the body of my work, I add the process of branding in a very intentional and holistic context, meaning that your brand isn't just who you are being while you quote unquote work. If it's truly about being authentic, it needs to be integrated and implemented in your life and your way of being in every single area of your life, 24/7. Professionally, yes. And personally, here's the trick, and where lots of people get it wrong, because it's so easy to get lost in strategy only and who we think we should be. And all we really want is alignment, congruence, truth, and energy never lies. So let's take all of this and sprinkle it with RISE philosophy. You build your personal brand on these 4 essential pillars: your image, your values, your mission, your vision. You need crystal clarity on each of these 4 essentials, and then you infuse each pillar with all the things that makes you. You have to connect within and align your whole being with your values as a way to lead and be. Most people don't know or don't have a genuine and non-negotiable connection with their values. So to clarify, your values are ways to be, not empty words that kind of sound good on paper. Then we add on 10 steps, 10 key steps to widen your understanding on the concept. So 1, let's start with really getting to know your personality and character. 2, your gifts, skills, and talents. 3, aligning with your values. 4, your vision and mission. 5, establishing your niche. Who are you talking to and why? 6, personal look and style. 7, your passion and interests. 8, communicate your brand. 9, build genuine relationships. 10, to summarize the full thing, speaking about leadership, walk your talk boldly. So as you can imagine, there is so much that goes into each of these steps. For example, every time I get into what's your personal look and style, specifically speaking with women at an event, class or a coaching session, we always end up in a discussion about self-expression. And this is also when it gets feminine and very fun. Think about fashion, for example, whatever that means to you. It can be a very powerful empowerment tool of telling the world who you are. When you walk into a room without even saying a word, or when you're walking the streets of your city, so is your energy. How you hold and carry yourself. How is your body posture? What's the tone of your voice? Do you hold eye contact? Whatever you put on your beautiful body, how does that make you feel? So all of this is basically a whole science of itself. And it all starts with getting curious and deep self-awareness. What if it's simply about you? being you, unlocking your inner magic, owning your uniqueness and everything on your journey that has made you who you are. Gorgeous, amazing, fantastic you. And you are light. You are a divinity. It's about authenticity, embracing the power of being uniquely you, owning your mess, the highs, the lows, and everything you've gone through during your life. So what do I mean by mess? The things we're most afraid to show the world. Our struggles, our failures, our most difficult challenges. You know, the big rock bottoms. Anyone? So ownership is a big word in both branding and leadership philosophy. And owning anything is all about taking radical responsibility for our energy and embodiment. And we cannot be embodied if we're not willing to show up for the work. Because personal growth and any kind of transformational work requires us to be intentional, to be willing to face any old limiting stories we hold in our bodies. For example, let me share parts of my mess that deeply has shaped me into who I am being today. And most often, dare I say always, our biggest challenges, they are often blessings in disguise if we are willing to view them as blessings. And perhaps we cannot do it while we're in them, but in hindsight, we can if we choose to. So when I was a teenager, I had eating disorders. And I'm not going to go into that story now because that's another episode and it's not the scope and topic of this episode. But what if I share with you the lesson and the growth opportunity that I've been given because of it? And because of it, I embarked on a healing journey at a very early age. I was 16 when I first started to see a psychologist. I spent a year in therapy, which means I understood the power of my mind from a very early age. And I made a choice to heal myself. In fact, I probably became the most dedicated 16-year-old girl ever who just wanted to heal from within. So that made me curious. And ever since, I've been fascinated about the mind, about psychology, about self-empowerment, about health, about healing, and so on and so on. Even that was a challenge at that time. It's very, very fair to say that I am who I am because of it. The lessons I've been given, the wisdom I've gained because of it, the reason I can serve at the level I can serve today, the coaching I do today, everything is a result of everything I've learned on my own journey, my own healing. And this is obviously just parts of it, but I could keep on going. But when you really, really think about it, I'm mentioning one thing here that's been an important challenge, you could say, in my life. I could keep on going, but for now, and think about it. If you can name 1, 2, 3 challenges, setbacks, even rock bottoms that you've had to navigate yourself through, that you've had to rise above, what's the lesson in it? What's the growth opportunity? And what kind of ways have it shaped you into who you are being today? So how can we take our drama and turn it into our dharma? You see where I'm going, yeah? So what happens when we shift the shame story to radical self-empowerment? Imagine life as our classroom and people as our greatest teachers along the path. So let me give you an example of this topic. And I'm doing that and I'm sharing parts of my own story because I want you to get to know me better. And I hope it will inspire you. And I know that you most likely will be able to relate. Same, but different. So many years ago, when I was working as a consultant, doing educational work as a holistic nutritionist, teaching courses, I had a collaboration opportunity with a holistic center offering people with addiction treatments. So to showcase my work and my philosophy, I was there to offer the operational team a free class to sample my work. And I remember back then, I mean, this is many years ago, part of me was afraid of sharing that I've had problems with eating disorders and how I healed and moved beyond it, because back then I didn't fully own my story. I wasn't comfortable speaking about it because I was afraid that people would judge me as not capable of leading others to healing. And you know what I was afraid that they would think? Oh, easy for her to say, little Miss Blondie, happy wellness. What does she know about this anyway? She is probably just born happy and healthy, or, whatever. And I remember that I often thought that, it would have been easier if I just would have been, I don't know, like a bit chubby, or at least not looked healthy. Like, how insane is that? Because the truth was then and still is that I love my wellness. I love my vitality. It's a core value for me because of my story. And I'm proud of the beautiful relationship I have built today with my body. So here we go. This is the perfect example of how we let fear of what others will think or how they might judge us stand in the way for our most authentic expression and contribution. So owning who we are and what we've been going through and what we stand for. So in my case, I was there to inspire healing. I was there to inspire wellness and self-empowerment. And anyhow, because I was brave that day many years ago, because I decided that I was no longer available to hold any parts of myself in the shadow, I got a massive reward. And the reward came to me through a person who did not know he became my greatest teacher that day because of the honest feedback he gave me after the class. So I finished my class by sharing very shortly my story of battling eating disorders as a teenager, and that I myself know firsthand what it truly takes to overcome mental addictions, to be willing to heal the body and mind and so on. And I still to this day, sharing this with you now, I remember the exact feeling of what I said and how I felt when I shared this open. And afterwards, I shared with one of the team members who I knew a little bit better my fear. And this is what he told me. And yeah, I don't remember the exact words, but this was the essence. Your story, where you're coming from, that is what you should share as an opening line. That's what's going to have people to connect with you because they will be able to relate somehow. You have something in common that ties you together. And there is nothing about you, Nathalie, that doesn't radiate health and well-being. So if anyone wants to judge you for still being ill or whatever, let them. That's not your business. This was a huge permission slip for me back then. It was a pivotal moment, and that's why I want to share it with you. So, daring to be fully seen as who we truly are is one of the biggest fears, and it is to this day one of the biggest self-imposed limitations I help my coaching clients to move beyond. Because beyond the fear of what others will think is liberation. It's the freedom we all seek. And we are not completely free as long as we stay small, wasting energy seeking external validation. So when we own our stories in a world full of people who wear masks, you know what happens? We stand out. We connect deeper. And life gets so much bigger and more beautiful. Because there will be no more hiding. No more dimming your light, no more holding yourself back or playing small. It's about giving yourself permission to shine brighter than ever. So, what's your story? Know that your story, all of it, your authenticity is your love gift to the world. I share my own lessons, setbacks, failures, and rock bottoms very generously with my clients, and I will do it here on this show as well. Because I want you to feel that you are not alone. And I'm here to normalize talking about these things so that we can rise above it all. That's why it's a major difference with a commercial and strategic only approach to branding versus applying the beauty and power of authenticity to the process. So it's not just branding. And as my clients say, it's personal transformation deluxe. If anyone wear a mask trying to impress, fake an identity, or if it's not deeply integrated with who they are, we will be able to feel that. Things become easy because, trust me, it takes way more energy trying to fit in than using that energy in complete flow. Think about it. What is it that makes you fall in love with a person, a business, a product, a brand? Why do you come back to certain businesses, brands, products over and over again? You most likely resonate with their message, their story, what they have to offer. Is a certain vibration. We can sense if something is real, genuine, and warm or not. You can apply this philosophy to everything in environments too. And most often, it's all about the people, the love, honesty, and intention that's been poured into something or not. Think about it, like a coffee place, the restaurant you love, wanting to be part of a tribe because it says something about you. Yeah, it's how the staff greet you, how you are being treated when you visit a certain social media account. It's all about the energy. So, you know what? You create this. You create your own energy by who you consciously choose to be. Now, this is the secret to manifestation. It's all about becoming a vibrational match to what you absolutely love and desire the most. Staying authentic. All breaks down to your energy. What kind of vibration you're living in and what kind of a vibration you're operating from in your personal life, in your career, and if you're an entrepreneur, in your business. It's about your feminine radiance. You can use your light and power to magnetize your dream clients, your new tribe, your dream partner, or connect with someone will be the perfect connection for your next big win. No matter where you are in the world, personally and professionally, people are naturally drawn to charismatic people who radiate a bright and light, high energy. So how do you find this? How do you access authenticity and your inner light? It's science. It is universal law. It's about creating divine order. That's what authenticity truly is. But it requires dedicated and intentional work, as there is a lot of reprogramming that needs to happen to be able to say and feel that you own our uniqueness. I know this firsthand. It takes devotion to rise above fear. It's about having the courage to show up as your most authentic self. It's about having the courage to be fully seen and to become visible. So, the one thing that naturally makes you stand out from the crowd? It is the energy and the fullest expression of you shining and you being and loving to be unapologetically and uniquely you. So, have you ever heard that you're too much of either this or that? What if you're too much is your special gift to the world? When I ask this question at lectures, classes, and events, I always get the same reaction. People are nodding and smiling because they recognize these scenarios. And we get that it's ridiculous, and yet we've all been so ruled by dimming our too much because of heavy conditioning about who we have thought we needed to be in order to be loved and accepted. So let me give you a couple of examples of normal too much for light workers. Perhaps you've heard that you are too positive, too loud, too sensitive, too assertive, or maybe even too freaking happy, too energetic. I've heard, I think all of them almost. So take this into consideration. Reflect on it. Getting to know who you truly are is really about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. So the too much you've been told to perhaps dim your whole life, what if this is your superpower and biggest asset number one? being unapologetically you with grace and power, turning your light all the way up, generously sharing what you're all about. The key work I really do with my clients, I simply teach women to unbecome everything they're not so they can be the woman they most want to be, which always translates into who they truly are, their most authentic selves. Because how will I be able to find you if you're not showing the world who you are and what you stand for? It is the truth that will set you free. So leverage and use your uniqueness. Speak up and say what you really want to say. It's not about needing to speak louder, to be obnoxious in any way. It's about your presence. And your presence can be soft, graceful, light and bright, and massively powerful at the same time. That's how you can use your presence to shift and elevate the energy in a whole room. So embrace your uniqueness. Be your brand, meaning be you, no matter where you go or where you are in the world. So you can see how it becomes a way to live and lead, where wild opportunities are waiting. Because what you seek is seeking you. Always, always, always. What if your biggest assignment to perform and to serve at a higher level is to simply tap into your genius, to be bold enough to expand on it, to express you and what you have to offer, and have that be your proud and bold contribution for those you're here to serve? It's about purpose. It's about meaning. It's about what truly matters to you, making your life feel meaningful. Personal freedom starts with you fully and freely expressing your whole self in your life, in your business, and in every single area of your life. There is so much power in owning your story, owning your authenticity. It's inspirational and it's massively empowering. It's also a double blessing. You get to experience true freedom, and you get to leverage your skills, your gifts, your talents to serve your corner of the world. This is, I believe, deep felt contribution and being a conscious creator, taking advantage of and using the power of your radiance, your innate light, and uniqueness in a way that feels aligned. Okay, I'm obsessed with this topic and I could keep on talking forever. But for now, if you want to learn more about this and my philosophy on authentic personal branding and feminine intentional identity creation, I have a fantastic free 10-step guide and workbook to share with you, so you can expand on everything we talked about here today. A link in the show notes to get instant access. So to summarize today's episode, go be you. Leverage and own your uniqueness. Live and be your truth. Give yourself permission to dream bigger and let your grandest vision lead the way. If you loved this podcast, please go ahead and subscribe. That way you get updates anytime I post a new episode. And if you're feeling extra generous, go ahead and share this with a sister you know needs to hear this message and leave a review. It would mean so much, as I love to envision a world with more feminine embodied leaders. If you're looking to further grow, evolve, and expand your life and business, connect with me on Instagram and sign up for my Rise newsletter. Get ready to receive special announcements, inspiration, high vibe self-empowerment, tips, hacks, and tools on how to become the woman you most want to be right into your inbox. Link in the show notes. Until next time, have a gorgeous week.